Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Thursday, March 12th, 2020, and we are going to make history again today. In fact, it's already being made. As I am doing this video blog, stock futures are halted. We are at limit down. Circuit breakers have been triggered. And look, this is a bloodbath. And I can't imagine that there's one other YouTube channel or news outlet on the planet who warned all of you the week before this all started. Warning after warning, and we are not done. Christine Lagarde, ECB president, came out yesterday explaining that she believes we are marching into a 2008 event. This is much worse. Like I explained to you, in 2008, we had to bail out the banks. In 2020, nations are going to need to be bailed out, and their central banks are going to step up to the plate. Let me explain this to you. Many people were led to believe that central banks, especially the Federal Reserve, was going to be blamed for the meltdown. Let me put a little light on that for you. Central banks are going to be praised for what they are doing now. Central banks around the world are going to print and add digits to a screen like we have never seen before. I explained to all of you months ago, this is what they would do. The scapegoat here, and it's everywhere. All the financial channels are talking about how what we're seeing in the markets right now is all because of the virus. This is a complete falsehood. Anyone that has even the fraction of a functioning brain cell, just one, realizes that we have a market, a stock market, not just here in the United States, a global stock market in the largest bubble the world has ever seen, hyperinflated on the back of a debt bubble. And again, I firmly believe, and I know that most of you do probably here as well, this virus was deliberately dispersed, and now they're going to use it as a scapegoat, say, look, it's the virus that caused the meltdown. It's the virus that's causing all these problems. No, it's our incompetent world leaders who have deliberately inflated a bubble along with their central banks to foster a wealth transfer, like I have explained to you since forever. People are losing all kinds of money here. And I'm hearing from so many people, close friends of mine too, that are going, my God, Greg, I'm getting decimated. My 401k, my investment plan, I'm losing all kinds of money. What should I do? Well, to these people, I would say very sadly, even people that I know personally, you should have been listening to me. You should have been listening to me. I told all of you what to do for a decade. Be prepared for what's going on here. Bet against the debt. Become your own central bank. That the market was in a bubble. That the debt bubble is the greatest threat to humankind. Period. The end. It's a financial monster. All the market is doing now is trying to determine fair value. It's its one and only job. We have had world leaders and their respective central bank, who are the real leaders, pump epic sums of debt into this market only to hyperinflate a bubble. But now they're all going to blame the coronavirus, and the central banks are going to be praised at the end for their efforts to try to push off a global meltdown, which they can't do. Again, look, this has been engineered. If you don't believe that what we're seeing now was deliberate, I told you from I don't know how long ago that this is what would happen at one point. This is how it would play out. And this is exactly what we're seeing. Exactly what we're seeing. Now, we're also seeing this, a pan sell-off. Pan, meaning everything is selling off. Cryptocurrencies are getting hit. Gold is getting hit. Silver is getting hit. If you recall, the last meltdown, 2008, gold and silver got smashed initially, and then they skyrocketed. I predict this is going to happen, not just with metals, but with cryptocurrencies as well. Load up on gold, physical silver. And people, this is my opinion. You do what you want. what's happening to cryptocurrencies today, they're getting decimated. It's a massive buying opportunity, and more than likely I'm going to be buying some today. That's where we are at. Crude oil is also down. The yield curve is a disaster area. I know that it came up yesterday. Let's just see what happens. Again, there's a pivot point here. We found it already. I went over this with you. 1% is the pivot point on the 10-year yield. Below that, this market's going to have a real hard time gaining. And look, this market is doing something very unusual. It's pretty much going straight down. Yeah, sure, we had little bounces. It's historic what we're witnessing here. And understand this too. The propping up of these markets. The president met with the CEOs of Wall Street banks yesterday. I don't know what they discussed here, but believe me, they are all on the right side of this market. The investment banks are trading like I do. Okay, many of them already tried to hire me. You all know that. They look for guys like me who have maybe a little foresight into this market, because nobody in the world warned their followers or anybody else immediately before this meltdown happened that I was getting out of the market, warning after warning. Okay, nobody in the world. I'm the only guy who did it. So you pick who you want to pay attention to with these shill YouTube channels out there pushing their fake narrative that the Fed is going to be blamed. The Fed is going to come out of here being praised at the end, along with other world central banks. People, this is, again, since the creation of central banking, this has been their one goal: to be the lenders and buyers of last resort, to make you, the people of the world, slaves or the borrowers. This is not a new thing. I've been explaining this to you since forever. And I said all we need is one leader to start taking away their central bank's power. I wish it would start with President Trump, but he won't do it. He won't do it. And it's a damn shame. The power of central banks exists in one thing: their ability to issue debt. If we take that away, we end the reign of the central banks around the world. But no, you're going to hear calls for quantitative easing. You're going to hear calls for rate cuts, more debt, not just by President Trump, but by every single world leader who are slaves to their central bank, and they're enslaving nations, and they are enslaving the people of the world. This is about to get much, much worse. And this, what we're seeing now, all of it by design, including this coronavirus that they're now blaming for everything. Oh no, it's not the incompetent world leaders that have deliberately inflated a stock market bubble and hyperinflated a debt bubble along with their central bank. It's not them. It's not the fact that nothing makes sense anymore. This market has no bearing on reality. And again, it's all done on purpose to foster a wealth transfer. How much cash have you lost in net worth? How much net worth have you lost, or paper, watching your 401ks go up, watching your investments go up that only make money when the stock market goes up? Paper. That's it. You never had it. You understand that? Whatever you've seen your 401k plan go up to, or whatever investment plan you might have that keeps going up, it's paper. It's not real. It doesn't exist. It's not on the elemental chart. It's in Fantasyland. And that Fantasyland is about to become real, not for you, but for those that this wealth is being transferred to right now on an epic scale. So just be ready to pretty much lose it all at this point, because it's designed to do it. People, take advantage of what's happening now with metals, with cryptocurrencies. Bet against this debt. Become your own central bank. And I'll tell you something else. We haven't even seen the debt bubble burst yet. When the debt bubble pops, that's going to be the grand finale. The grand finale to this whole thing. Right now, again, we made history yesterday. The 11-year bull run ended yesterday. And people, again, it's amazing to me how people are getting caught off guard here. Even people that follow my work, friends of mine, when I told them all what would happen. I told them all what they should be doing, and now they're like, their minds are being blown, like they didn't see this coming? Really? Are you serious? All right, people, look for the distractions. It's every single thing you're witnessing right now is going to be blamed on the coronavirus as central banks, including the Fed, pump more debt into this market. And in the end, the central banks are going to get praised, not blamed for anything here. All of this is being deflected off of our incompetent world leaders who have been working with their central banks to deliberately inflate a bubble to catch you and most people completely off guard. But if you've been with me and you have followed my work right up until the end, the week before I warned all of you that this was going to happen. I told you that I pulled my own cash out of my core positions in the stock market. Who else did that? Name one other person. Any of the shill YouTube channels do it? They're trying to convince you that there's a bigger plan going on here, that the Fed is going to be blamed for this. It's laughable. No, they've picked their scapegoat. It is the coronavirus. It's so twisted. This guy loves you. Please share the video. I'll see you at the end of this historic day.